Today I want to talk about following your dreams and what's involved in that, but more importantly, how that's been interpreted over time. We all have this idea of what it takes to follow your dreams. It's all about never giving up, never giving in, finding your goal and achieving it, pushing through, going on and on and on. But a lot of the time when we talk about that, we're not actually talking about the realistic day-to-day life that you have to go through to get to that. The reality is, if I was to follow my dreams right now, full tilt, go at it and not care about anything else, do it like they say in the movies, I would most probably be loaded with debt and wouldn't be able to support myself financially. Hollywood has put this idea into our heads that in order to follow your dreams, there's a certain narrative that's going to occur. You're going to figure out what your dream is, you're going to go through a little bit of a hard spell, a little bit of hard times, and then you will, and that's the key thing here, you will come out on the other end having reached your goals. Now, the truth of the matter is, a lot of us don't reach the goals that we want to. That's just, unfortunately, the way the world works. There's a lot of people all vying for the same position, so it's just not possible for all of us to reach our goals and reach our dreams. So then with that in mind, should you be following your dreams completely dogmatically, or should you be considering plan B? Now, as soon as I say that, I feel like I'm negating the whole point of dreams, and I'm negating the whole principle about blindly following those dreams. So this brings me on to my first point, and we touched on it earlier. It's the narrative of following your dreams. And unfortunately, Hollywood is the main culprit here. When you watch a Hollywood movie from start to finish, you see the beginning, you see the struggle, and then you see the outcome. But Hollywood has put into us that as long as you are passionate and you follow your dream, you will eventually get there. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say don't follow your dreams, because of course it's worth a shot. But it would be interesting to see some kind of statistic about who has gone down that road and succeeded versus the number of people that haven't. I think if we were to really be realistic, the Hollywood narrative would be a little bit more boring, which is why it doesn't show up in movies. But I think we have a large group of people at the moment who are following that storyline, getting to the end, realizing they can't reach their dreams, and they become upset, they become depressed, they become apathetic about the whole thing, because they feel like, I've done all the steps, I've gone through the process, it's all there. This is what the TV has showed me I should do, but it hasn't happened. So what's gone wrong? Where have I gone wrong? And this leads me on to the next thing, which is having a plan B. Now, generally, if you're following your dreams properly, you don't have a plan B. And this makes sense, because if you were 100% committed to something, you wouldn't need a plan B. So if you are sort of investing in that plan B, then you are, by definition, not fully believing in your dream. So if you have a plan B, you're not following your dreams. Or is having that plan B a way of propping you up and giving you a safety net so that you can focus on your dream without having to worry about, say, money or stability or security or those kinds of things? There's a famous artist by the name of Pharrell Williams. You've probably heard of him. And I listened to an interview of his not too long ago where he talks about having this plan B. He actually went on to say that you should have a plan B, C, and D. So, you know, you have a whole lot of things. And he was obviously talking specifically in the music industry. But what he said was, there are so many people out there competing for your spot as a musician. And the reality is, there's probably a 6-year-old right now who can do the same thing that you can. So why do you feel like you are going to be able to reach that goal, or you're going to become the next famous artist, when there are those types of people waiting in the wings, basically, you know, up behind you, trying to jump onto your spot? So as he said, you need to have an education. You need to find a second field that you enjoy, that you can rely on in the hard times. And I found it quite interesting coming from a successful artist, because these types of musicians, or just celebrities in general, always seem to talk about following your dreams. You can do it, believe in yourself. And these are all these mind-numbingly cliche lines that, of course, there's an element of truth in them. But at the same time, you just think that is not necessarily real world advice. So if I went over to a famous YouTuber, let's go for someone in our field. I like to make stuff, Bob Claggett. If I went over to Bob and said, Bob, what's some advice that you can give me as a growing content creator? And if he said to me, just believe in yourself, that would be the most empty distinction ever. Now, obviously there is a little bit of weight in it that if you do believe in yourself, you are on the right track, etc., etc. But going back to the whole Hollywood thing, have we just become so wrapped up in these cliches that we're not actually handing out real advice, real world advice? Now, I know this is very similar to a video I put out not too long ago about achieving your goals, but what I want to focus on here is this Hollywood notion of achieving your dreams and almost the irresponsibility that comes with it, because it's such fluff when they talk about it in movies. And obviously, I mean, there is a small degree of realism, as I mentioned, but have we just lost track of reality altogether because we've just been dazzled by these words and these stars that are all getting to do it, but we've lost sight of the realistic steps that we need to take to reach those dreams? And the overall reality is that you need to have some kind of a backup plan just in case, because unfortunately the just in case is actually a lot more likely than I think we'd like to believe. So as always, I'm really keen to hear what you guys have to say about this. Do you think following dreams blindly is the right way to go about it? Or do you think that it's more realistic and more appropriate to have a plan B up your sleeve? Do you think that technology might have just pulled out so many people that now your competition has grown more than it ever has? Or do you think that that's not necessarily the case? I'm really keen to hear what you guys have to say, so leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it the old thumbs up. And if you enjoy this type of content, then I'd like to encourage you to subscribe. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon.